Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Live Vibe Coding with Will Melton. That is me. I'm Will Melton. I'm your host, and this is a Channel RVA production. I am trying to do something a little new today, and you'll see why here in a minute, but I'm not having success with that. So I'm going to switch over to my audio player here, see if we can get that to work out. I've got something new cooking over here on RVA art, but I believe my bucket is not public yet. We're working on finishing yesterday's project, which was a tool to manifest your dreams. And in the process, I seem to have made a blip to some degree. So we'll get that worked out here. But check out channelrva.com if you're in the Richmond market and subscribe to the Daily Digest. You'll find out a lot about what's happening in Richmond you wouldn't know otherwise. But let's see what's happening here with my chats. Let me talk to this real quick. We'll get this going. You completely replaced the ambient music that we had before. I did not ask you to replace the ambient music. I asked you to add the solfeggio music as the default. So we're adding another option in the music selection. Further, the music does not play, so there's a permissions issue and there's no error or anything displaying. It's just not playing at all. Okay, so solfeggio frequencies, if you're not familiar with those, we're working on integrating them into this app. Let me see if this is working now. I guess not. I'll tell you what solfeggio's frequencies are here in just a minute if I can get the thing that I was working on to work, and then we can work on today's project.
Close your eyes.
Okay.
Yesterday, your dream arrived.
Okay. In the beginning step, we have a voice selected, we have the voice toggled on, and it says then before we begin, and it asks the reader to read this long paragraph, and then they are prompted with an option to read this aloud. If the voice toggled on is on, why are they not given the opportunity to listen to this right away? If the voice toggle on doesn't actually enable the voice to play automatically because of the browser blocking issues, then the toggle doesn't have any impact whatsoever. It shouldn't exist. It should actually be replaced with a read this aloud button. Or maybe not even a read this aloud button. It should be a begin button because we want people to have the full experience. And not to mention when I click read aloud,
Begin. Take a breath. Find stillness. What we're about to do is
it takes
simple,
a really long
but it
time to
requires
load
your
the
full
audio file.
presence.
First of all, it needs to be
I'm
much
going to ask
faster.
you to imagine
And
that your
there is
biggest dream
no,
arrived yesterday, not someday, yesterday. You woke up this morning having made it.
so
We're going to walk through that morning together using every sense you have.
solfeggio music is not playing still. Why? Explain it to me. Do the diagnostic and then explain to me why all this is what it is before we continue. All right. I don't usually talk to the lovable agent, but I have conflated two different deals over here, and I need to figure out what's going on. So let's see if I can get this to work now.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I gotta load these audio files. Let's see. All right. Solfeggio music, upload, open. All right. All right, let me get ahead and get into today's build. We'll get some music going here in a minute. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. Here it is. All right. 3D print manifest. 3D print marketplace. I want to go ahead and extrapolate this out and think about the full business concept before we build. We need to be thinking about our revenue streams. We need to be thinking about automating customer service. Um, we need to think about printer ratings. We need to think about how payments are handled. We need a map. We need an advertising system. We talked about a premium subscription option. Perhaps people that don't have printers, the buyers, can have a subscription that allows them to get access to a library of parts that are almost like a Envato Elements royalty free, like unlimited library option beyond the open source designs. Let's do some thinking first. Okay, so what you guys are not aware of is I have already started thinking about how this marketplace is going to work. I'm thinking about it for about a day. But first, let me figure out what's going on here. So actually, a story right here shows a 3D printing vending machine, which this is a good idea, but it's going to be expensive to build, and it's going to be something that needs to be maintained. And so why not use the 3D printer fleet that already exists in people's homes? So that's what we're doing with this build today. We're going to create a space where people that have 3D printers can do gig jobs of printing out individual parts or components, multiple components, whole builds, whatever it is. And we're going to create something fun. So that story's over there if you want to read more about it. All right. right, let's see what this says. What if we created the courier marketplace as a part of this? Maybe a printer doesn't have enough jobs and they want to do the delivery part too. Ultimately, the price of the part's going to be a lot less expensive and it's going to take a lot less time to get here than if we were to order it from eBay or some other country or something like that. And I'm just reading through this right now. Hey, Michael, how you doing? I'm just reading through some of the ideas here. All right, let me see what we have over here. Trying to get my music back going on here. Sitting here listening to myself talk. It's kind of boring. So anyway, what I was telling you guys about was solfeggio frequencies. These are a music scale that predates what we know to be the music scale today, and they are supposedly magical frequencies that impact the brain somehow. I haven't dug too deep into this, but I do know that there's all science behind frequencies and their impact on organisms. Kind of an ancient wisdom, ancient science that we seem to have lost. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe some people know about this. If you know what I'm talking about, leave me a comment. But let's see. Let's see if it worked. Get my music back.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators.
Okay,
Subscribe
let's see how
at
this does.
channelrva.com.
So it's really quiet, actually. You might not be able to hear it. We have to boost the volume on that. We'll just go back to our ambient music today. There we go. All right. Turn that down a little bit so you guys can hear me. All right. Yesterday we were working to finish up this guy. Push those fixes through there. All right. 3D printer marketplace. Let's see what we've got going. Probably nothing yet. Wrong build. Let's get into local. Forge local. This is kind of cool. I'm going to go over to Envato right now because this site demands some footage.
Hier ist jeden Tag Throwback Thursday. 90er, 2000er, Party Classics und Lieblingslieder reloaded. Check jetzt zu I Love Hits History. An I Love Music Channel Tip. This is I Love Chill Hop.
All right, so we've got some image videos here. Let's go ahead and get some photos as well. Some drama. Gotta love the drama. I spend a lot of time looking at images and things for this kind of thing. I don't know why. I like this guy. All right. All right, let's do this. Cool. All right. Let's rename these. That's right. Okay. So we have. All right. So I'm going to go get the videos that we downloaded and optimize those guys. So we have this movie here. Okay. Export as 1080p.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
I thought I downloaded more videos than that, but I guess not. Look and see what we have up here. There it is. So right now I'm naming my file names with keyword-rich titles for SEO purposes. Looks like I'm going to need some more. Gonna get one more image here, one more video of online shopping. I'll take that guy. Just getting some images for our video slider. Okay. Probably need a image of a dude delivery. Okay, we'll use that guy. So, this is taking a little bit to build. That's okay. It's a big build. If you're new to this, check out studio.wellmelted.com. You can see all my builds. You can see the one that we put together yesterday. Taking a second to load here, but the Dreamscape app. We'll play with that here in a minute. I'm just doing some video optimization as well. All this for SEO purposes. We do not want these things to take a long time to load. Let's see what I have here. Not too talkative today, but I am, for whatever reason, typing a lot. And all right, so we're going to get these couple of changes made. We're going to get these images loaded. We're going to go with a more image-friendly site.
You're tuned into channel RVA, the media hub for independent creators. Subscribe at channelrva.com.
All right. We'll wait for all of this, but I feel like I'm doing okay here. Is there a place that we can source open source designs to get us started? Right now, the library has no images at all, so it's really hard to tell what these things are. I asked earlier to flip one vote from RVA to 804 for the flash poll, and it did not happen. Why?
Ein Hit, ein Jahr. Aber welches? Schalt jetzt zum neuen Hit-Quiz-Channel und zock direkt die nächste Runde. Let's quiz! This is I Love Chill Hop.
I always love it whenever you can't actually finish the process. Well, I'll have to figure that out because I cannot create a Thingiverse API. All right, let's go back over and see what we have. I don't know why working with files, images, and whatnot takes so long with the lovable agent. It's not, um, doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. All right, I'll close out of some of this stuff. Let's go check out. I'm going to pause this music right now. We're going to go check out where we're at with this. I'm trying to address the user experience on the Dreamscape app. When you're on the home page and you click Begin Experience, it takes you to another page where you can select a voice, and then you're expected to read this big paragraph. But what I've been explaining to you is that I want the voice to read itself. You can't have a begin button at the bottom of the paragraph that takes you into the prompts if you haven't yet heard the initial prompt, the preamble. I need you to go through the linear user experience from the home page to the initial preamble to the stepwise wizard, making sure that we're addressing the score that includes the solfeggio sounds and the voice, addressing the issues with the browser blocking, and ensuring that the user is not expected to read that paragraph without having started the voice. I think we can go a step further too and allow the some kind of visual indicator, some kind of hue in the background to follow along on the text as the voice reads. But I need you to recognize that the voice experience is the primary experience. And if a user is forced to read, if they're not given the prompt of what to do and how this works, they're not going to know what to do, and they're going to not have the full experience that I have designed. I've asked you in a previous chat on this to be a working partner for me and to think about the whole picture and not just solve small problems. I need you to come. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? I never said to use unsplash images. I was explicit in what we were supposed to be doing in my choices that I made before. You do not have the authority to make unilateral decisions. It burns compute, it wastes money, and it's not what I wanted. It's not what I asked for. You shouldn't have done it. You need to use the scraping tool or something. We have the connector for that, so go do the work. You're not doing enough to solve the problem. I shouldn't be the one to tell you this. We built an application in Lovable. Use the Lovable connectors. I'm not talking about connectors for Claude. Okay, thank you. That's done. This is a response based on an error that I was trying to resolve, which tells me that perhaps we did not first seed these audio files, and that are we calling 11 Labs every single time to read the exact same prompt to every single user? That would be a very inefficient use of compute, and it would waste a bunch of credits. I already said that we needed to seed the initial voice prompts per voice. Tell me what happened and tell me why we didn't get where we needed to be. All right. That's taken up some time. This is going to be a multi-stage build. Same guy. Look at that. Oh my God, that's too funny. I didn't realize that. I got a guy with glasses. He doesn't have the same glasses on. It's pretty close, but not exactly the same. Okay. Earlier, I uploaded several images to Lovable, and I provided the instruction that the images would to be used to enhance the experience on the home page. Currently, the home page was slapped together. The hero works okay because we loaded the videos, but the contrast hasn't been considered. The text is too small. It's not really a fantastic design, but it's a start. And then the rest of the page leaves a lot to be desired. It doesn't explain how it works. It is a really poor marketing experience for a brand new service that should um, work really hard to explain to people why they should be a builder or a printer, a courier, or somebody who wants to get this stuff done. Let's make a solid plan and go see look at the database for the image titles so you know which images we have to work with. We need to deal with text, layout, image placement, design, the whole nine.
Before we begin, take a breath, find stillness. What we're about to do is simple, but it requires your full presence.
It's 11 o'clock.
Before we begin, take a breath, find stillness. What we're about to do is simple, but it requires your full presence. We're going to ask you to imagine that your biggest dream arrived yesterday, not someday. Yesterday, you woke up this morning having made it. We're going to walk through that morning together, using every sense you have until it feels like memory rather than fantasy. Your brain cannot tell the difference between Before we begin, take a breath, find stillness. What we're about to do is simple, but it requires your full presence. We're going to ask you to imagine that your biggest dream arrived yesterday, not someday. Yesterday, you woke up this morning having made it. We're going to walk through that morning together, using every sense you have until it feels like memory rather than fantasy. Your brain can. Before we begin, take a breath, find stillness. What we're about to do is simple, but it requires your full presence. We're going to ask you to imagine that your biggest dream arrived yesterday, not someday. Yesterday, you woke up.
All right. So anyway, this is that's gross. This image grid layout is probably about a 15-year-old design and is not going to fly. This is not a modern looking design. It's not going to win anybody over. I don't know what design skills you're using, but if you're letting Lovable do the design part, you've gone astray. Have you looked at the design of the site yet? It's just terrible. Yeah, that's just, I mean, that's absolute garbage. I would never, ever put something online like that. People's faces cut off, images stuck together like this. Like, hell no. Hell no. Gross. All right, well, I'm wrapping up today. I got some things that I got to go do, but we're going to push this online a little bit later. This is actually something that we want to run with. I think it's pretty cool. There's some people that are in the business of 3D printing, so we can leverage some existing relationships to make this work. But for the time being, I'm going to sign off here. Take a look at dreamscape.com exponent21.com for a renewed experience from yesterday's build. Check out studio.willmelton.com and subscribe to find out when I'm going live and to get updates about what's going on. And visit channelrva.com and subscribe over there so that you can get Richmond in your inbox. We're still adding features to this, doing a lot of cool things. So hang out with me. Come back again next weekend. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thanks, guys.